today, well, before I share my screen, thank you everyone for being here. I was talking to Elena and we're talking about like what would be cool to do that is like a little bit more interactive. I can show my process and stuff, and it's more not just a talk, but like doing something together. And I was thinking of doing just like showing a little bit of my process creating what do I call it? Comics. Sorry. Now I'm just like searching for my keynote because like I was like, hey, maybe I can share something also about my keynote. Medium day. And okay, so I'm just going to open my my computer. I'm going to share my process through writing, through sketching an idea, and then actually putting it on Procreate. So allow this device. I've been having trouble just like making everything. I wanted to have my phone as a camera, but I couldn't. I wanted to have a microphone, but I couldn't. I just like anything, nothing has been working. And that's why I'm like, but I think I'm just going to use the camera from the phone, from the MacBook and stuff. So, okay, so let's get started. Let me just show you my screen, how I just like go about like writing a comic. So whenever I write a comic, I seriously just put it on as a note on Notion. And that means it's, can you see me? Yes. So for example, here are some comics that I have made in the past, and I'm going to actually just like show you some of the stuff that I made in the past. And these are like some of my drawings, but they all start with me writing them down. And I usually just put them as notes, and I describe them as panel 1, this is what's going to happen. Panel 2, this is what's going to happen. No real magic behind this or anything. It's really just me writing down my ideas. So for example, these are all like comics that I've done, and I usually just have one single place where I write all of my ideas, and I just keep writing them. And all of these ideas are comic. For example, here I had the idea messy, a comic about the messiness of human behavior, about how we want to cookie cutter, scalable, easy to digest and agile stuff, all in sacrifice for. So all of these are ideas that I just put them, and it's just like come to my mind, and I put them as an idea that later is going to become a comic. I interview questions. Let's start with a critical. See, like this is another one that was just an idea about like what if you go to an interview question and then the interview questions become more about like your zodiac sign and become more a little bit more esoteric, and then it's like, hey, you have to adjust to our stuff because it's our culture. So that was kind of the idea of the comic. It never became one. It hasn't become one because it's a messy idea. It's still all over the place, and I haven't really put it together, For example, this one is just a very simple idea where it's like, hey, feeling fine, and I'm feeling okay, I'm feeling fine. Oh, wait, I'm not. Those are 4 frames right there that I just like had as an idea. Let me just write them down, and later I'll doodle them. So all of this starts just as ideas. Then later I start like massaging, like, okay, I like this idea. Let's go and actually put it as a comic. And that's something, for example, that I did with this one that is called In the Year 3000. And, with AI and everything, I wanted to, like right now we see everything that AI is doing, the art that is doing, we see it as a representation of like, well, it's copying us, right? Because it's being fed or everything that we have painted over history, because all these models are made out of the stuff that we make. So, but now we're kind of depending on that stuff, and we're kind of depending on all of these large language models and all this machine learning to create images. So then we can create more art. But that art is almost like a copy of the past. Anyway, I wanted to like explore these ideas. I've been trying to explore all of these ideas into comics, and one of them was like, hey, what will happen in the future where like robots are the ones who are more like humans and are the ones that are just like, hey, maybe we live in a population where uh, humans are more of a second class citizen, you know, and robots are the ones who are actually dominating the world, are the ones who create art and who create culture and who create everything. And I was thinking that maybe the robots go to a museum and they see art that was created by humans, you know. And I don't know, it's kind of meta, but the idea is like a robots appreciating human art, but seeing it as more as I don't know, like weird, like, oh, these humans, they don't know how to do stuff, but the robots were made by us, you know. And the art that they create was actually fed from Mars. I don't know. And them being robots, they see all the imperfections of the humanness in it, and they see it as a flaw when it's something that we appreciate it too, you know. Look at these erratic lines. Was the human malfunctioning? And that's the punchline, right? And here, when I wrote it down, I wrote it just like this. I was thinking in the year 3000, setting up like right away, what is the setup and what is the, so like right away, you get the idea of what is happening. So I was thinking that should be the frame one, just in the year 3000. Okay, let's get our minds there. And that's why I went with a white frame in just those lines. Hey, it's almost like something that we see in the movies too, right? Like it sets the background and everything. And then the two robots talking, but you don't see the robots, you see the art and you see the conversation, and you don't actually understand that they're robots until frame three. And that was like intentional. You see the art here, like that was my intention in this frame, where you don't exactly see their faces, you know, and this was entirely made by a human. So that takes right away. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, of course it was entirely made by a human. So who are these people talking? It's like, oh, okay, they're robots. You know, what humans were able to paint and did it was a primitive. So you see their point of view, and then we go back to the painting, and it's a detail of the painting. So you see this framing acting here, and it's all in 4 frames, and just like trying to get into that idea quickly, you know. So what things about like making a comic is that you want it to be, you have limitations in your in the frame, in the text, and you want it to be short. At least mine, you know, I want it to be short because it's in the web. So I want it to be like, okay, yeah, haha, Pablo, goodbye, next thing, you know. So I want it to be quick, at least in the web comics. And it's almost like those comics that appear in the newspaper. They're just like a 3-strip 3-panel, 4-panel strips in the comics. So you have to be concise. You have to be oh wait, what? Okay, yeah. And you have to be pretty in your framing, like tell a story. So when I wrote it down, it was just this: a frame 3, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4. I was already thinking of the frames, and I didn't put the details about the frames because they were in my mind, and I didn't think it was necessary to be like, oh, the frame 2, 2 robots looking at a Picasso. Actually, I wrote it down. I did write it down. What humans used to paint. So all of that stuff then becomes this. Now, all of this has become like that in many of the comics that I made, and I'm going to show you some of them. Let me see if I go to my keynotes. Hold on. I have a folder called keynotes. Where's it? Presentations. Wow. I think my spotlight is not serving. It's not working. I had a keynote and it's not working. I don't know why, but I can show you some of the stuff on Figma. So let me go over here, and just for me to be quick whenever I make comics, we're already at half the time, and I promise that we're going to do a comic, so I'm going to do it quick. I cheat. And when I say that I cheat, I mean I use a system on Figma to wireframe my comics. So first I write it down, and then I put all the framings here. And I have these 2 characters. I show you the exception with the robot because the robots are usually not recurring characters in my comics. But I have 2 recurring characters in my comics, which are Petunia and Pax. And here in Figma, what I do is that I create a very simple system of like the characters on side view and front view. And with that, I can just like create very simple, just like compositions of frames of each frame of a comic. For example, let me show you, let me see if I have another one. For example, yeah, this one that is about flying cars, or this one that is motivational. Yeah. So on this one that was motivational, I even use some Google images. See, I am a very cheating person. I, I do some sketches of the things that I want to do, and then I draw them. So I cheat entirely sometimes, where it's like, hey, I could have drawn this. I didn't need a freaking template, but I was like, oh, I want to see it first in a composition, in a template of how this is going to look, you know? And this is a way for me to just like wireframe an idea, and then before I start like actually putting it together. And all of this work, as you can see, this is actual pixels. This is actually the drawing. All of this stuff, I do it on Procreate. So I first wireframe it quickly on Figma. Hey, I like the composition. This is looking good. And then I put it on Procreate. Let me see if I have another one that is like this. Yeah, for example, this one, yeah, this was another one where I wireframe a lot of stuff, and all of this is just using my components. You see, this is a component, is the same component as before. The front, this is all I do is just like flip it, rotate it, I make it smaller, I make it bigger, and all of this serving in the purpose of composition. So here I do composition of like what it will look as a mobile. And then here, if I want to do something that is like more an introspective look into the mind of this and being awake at all night, like all of these have the same expression, right? Like this wouldn't work as a comic. This would be like pretty weird because it's just a wireframe for me. Then this is how I actually put it together. So let me actually compare it like, let me see if I can compare this versus this. And I just put it side by side. So this is how I wireframed it. And this is how it actually turned out to be. Maybe ungroup. I don't know why it's grouping. Oh, I see what's going on. So this is how it turned out. So what I did is just like I had expression, and I had a little bit of flair to the expression of the character. Once I put it here, for example, here, it's eating taquifuegos. I don't know what I was doing here. Yeah, so this one is not eating taquifuegos, but here, when I drew it, I actually put it eating taquifuegos. But this helped me on the composition, just like, hey, I didn't have to think about the composition and keep it the same. I'm lazy and I want to do it quick. So I just use that wireframe to put it together. So today, hopefully we have time to do this. And I don't know if we can stay a little bit longer for those who want to see it, the process and everything. I wrote something really quick, and this is between Paps and Petunia. It's a discussion that they're having. Usually these characters, they're kind of they're a little bit of represent a little bit of me. Paps represents the idealistic, the dream part, and Petunia is the more realistic, the more the more pragmatic side. So Petunia is the pragmatic, Paps is the dreamer, you know. So in a very clear way to express that those personalities is with the half full, half empty debate, right? Whereas like is the here in panel one, like Paps has, is the glass half full or half empty, and Petunia, being the pragmatic that she is, she's like half empty, you know, and this prepares us for the future. Like we're seeing that like that we have scarce resources, you know, that's how Petunia thinks. But Paps thinks like, no, it's half full because it means hope and optimism and all the opportunities that are, it's abundance. There's more to come, you know, more to fill. Versus Petunia is like, no, dude, like the realistic side is that it's just, we only have this. So in panel 3, they're having this discussion in a cat, which is a recurring also character in some of my comics, knocks down the glass, and because it's a cat. And the cat, so Petunia is like, the glass, realistic. Perhaps the debate, the opportunity to keep talking, you know, and on the panel for Petunia, like I guess we never consider no glass at all, and perhaps that's debate settled. Um, I don't know if that's a punchline. I don't know if it's funny, but for me, it got a little bit philosophical, but a little bit also funny. So let's do this comic. I got it. I have the panels. I kind of have the framing in mind. So the first one should be the two characters being represented one against the other. You know, easy. So I already copy pasted my template. So like I have two texts and I have two characters, and all I can do now, I already put the first frame, and let's go and duplicate this. Yeah, that's how I do it. I know this feels like I'm cheating. I am a cheater. I don't know how to draw. I draw poorly, but hopefully me being a poor doodler, well, someone with no talent, maybe makes you think, hey, if he does it that way, maybe I can do it too. So maybe this, I don't know, pushes you to also be creative, you know, and make your own comics. So okay, let's go to the second panel. The second panel says like, hey, but half full means hope and optimism, half empty is realistic. So I think that it should be the image should represent those two things, right? Where actually Petunia is half empty, it's smaller, and this guy is a little bit bigger, and maybe he's actually even looking like up. You know, it's just looking at the opportunities, looking up, and Petunia is looking to the other side, and maybe she's actually even looking down. I think, yeah. Let me break this component. Those designers who are here are going to hate me for breaking a component, but the idea is that, hey, oh yeah, by the way, I even have the heads as components, so that way I can just like do this kind of stuff where the composition changes, you know? So let me break this one too. Oops, no, I didn't mean that. I don't know what I clicked. Command Shift V, yeah, right? Am I doing it wrong? I suppose it's not even, oh, it wasn't even a component anymore. So this guy is looking at the sky. It's a dreamer, not very practical. And Petunia is looking at the ground and is like, no, it's half empty. It's realistic and more pragmatic. So I think the image now represents their thoughts too. And that's what I'm trying to do here. You know, so it's cool to like wireframe that that idea in their minds, you know, and you express that just visually too. Okay, so now we need the cat, and the cat needs to come and throw the glass. So they should be like kind of in the back. And maybe what's going on with her head? Something happened with her head. Let me break the component. What's going on? There you go. Okay, as you can see, Paps is not very tall. Oh, I see what's going on. Something happened with the image, with the scales. Sometimes it's a little bit weird. It should be like this. Yeah, there you go. And now we should give the cat should be in the front. And for the cat, I'm just going to draw like a table here. I usually just give it a fill. Let's give it a white fill. And let's give it a thick border. So there you go. So let's put it here. Let's add a glass. Maybe the glass is a little bit like this. There you go. Again, we're just wireframe our composition, so I like doing it that way because hey, I can see how things are going to look before I actually ink them, because inking them can be time consuming, and I have a job to do, and I cannot be making comics is not what I do for a living. You know, this is just kind of my side thing. So because I like making comics, so I cannot be like putting too much time in making a comic. So that's why I'm just, you could debate that I'm actually putting more time by just wireframing it. I might actually be. So there you go. So maybe, well, what we want to show is that the glass is being tipped down, right? So maybe it's kind of like this, and maybe the composition should be more like this then, and they should be close to the water, and the cat is going to be here. And what did they say here? Oh no, the glass. Oh no, the debate. Maybe they're even flipped, because this one is a little bit closer and this one is a little like this. So she says the glass, and the other guy says the debate. Maybe this writing could have used a little bit more love, but again, we're short on time, so sometimes even your writing cannot be perfect. So there you go. So the glass, the debate. I'm going to put the cat here, tipping it up, and just being an asshole. And then let's go back to the characters here. The last one. Oh, wow. I only have 5 minutes to sketch it. I don't think we're going to do this. I should have put more time into I don't think I do it in 30 minutes. I should have done it in like a one single pane comic. Anyway, the last thing, I guess we never considered no glass at all. And that's Petunia being a little bit philosophical, and maybe now is perhaps being the pragmatic and saying, hey, let's just go do something else, because I'm bored with this debate. Debate settled. So it's weird, because like now the personality's kind of changed, right? Because it is Petunia the one who is like, hey, like is being more of a, I don't know, more of a dreamer, or more of a just like being a little bit deeper with her thoughts, versus perhaps is being now maybe bored and saying like, hey, let's just stop this conversation. I'm a little bit bored. I don't know. So I guess we never considered no glass at all. Debate settle. I like it this way. I can put the cat over here. I can put the table here, and I can put the glass around here with the water all over the place on the floor. Now it's kind of weird to read it this way, so let's put it like this. Let's put the characters like this, left to right. I think it's okay. They switch places. All good. Maybe the camera was on the other side here, and then they switch, and then the camera switched to the other side where the glass was, and maybe we do put the glass over here. Maybe that's why, and maybe the glass was far away, There you go. And we can reduce a little bit of its like this, and maybe and maybe I can just like draw the stuff, and the table can be here. And there you go. The glass can be in the middle. And maybe something that we can do is that we can start seeing then that the glass is maybe over here now. The camera switch a little bit. And, oh no. Sorry. And the glass is over here. It's a little bit further away, because they're like kind of in their thoughts, and the cat can be here approaching the glass. So we're already seeing that something is happening in the back. And then, surprise, surprise, the cat is here. And maybe this will guide us on what the head of the cat is. Let's put a stroke, let's put a fill, and let's put a little bit of this. There you go. And see that. Now we see that something's happening. That cat is up to no good. Yeah, that circle is the cat, the head of the cat. See, the cool thing about doing it on Figma is it allows me to just like play around with the shapes, I play around with the stuff, like look at it. Is this making sense? Is this visually something that I like to? Is this composition something that I like? See how I'm moving stuff around until like I feel like it's it feels good. You know, I'm going to put this stuff here. This is going to come, the chat bubble is going to come from here. These two should be center, so they should be like this because they're both at the same time, at the same thing. But this should potentially, even the size could be a little bit smaller. Why? Because she's thinking half empty. So, and this is a little bit bigger because he's thinking half full. So even the typeface can reflect a little bit of what they are, what's in their heads. Wow, I don't think I'm going to get to actually stitching it. I overestimated my power, my comics powers, and I overestimated my ability to have everything ready. I had a lot of technical issues before jumping on this. But here, you can imagine this. Like, you know what? Like, actually, let me, just so you can imagine it a little bit better. This is the cat. There you go. That's a cat. There you go. I fixed it. But maybe this cat, so it's more like it can tell you more what the cat is feeling. It's a little bit more. It's not even looking at the glass, you know. It's like pushing it, like, okay, I'm done here. Bye. But they usually look at it, right? Sometimes they even look at you while they're doing it. I'm going to say that is like this. It is not caring about what is happening. But first, the curiosity of the cat is there, you know, so we can make this like this. So there you go. Now you can see what is happening here. The cat is like, hey, what's going on here? Why is this taking my space? Okay. I don't think, I am sorry. I thought we're going to be able to do it all. I was going to draw it here on Procreate. I even practiced my doodling, but we're out of time. So let me go back to this. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, or stop sharing. How can I stop sharing? Stop sharing.
Pablo, if you want to run over, I think that's okay. If people want to leave and go to their next session, but it's up to you. If you want to, I just don't want to cut you off in your drawing process.
So this is like those who want to stay, they can stay here. So the link is a unique link. Yes. I'm not taking someone else's time.
No.
Oh,
I mean,
whoever wants to stay here, stay here. We can just like draw this and we can even post it. Thank you, Elena. Thanks for clarifying that. So then I'm not going to feel as rushed. We're going to take it easy. Okay. And we're going to draw this. Let me figure out what's going on with my QuickTime because I wasn't able to share my screen before with the actual, it was working in the morning and then it stopped working. You know how those things are where they, dude, like it's supposed to look at my iPad as a camera and it's not looking at it. Oh, yes. It's looking at it now. Allow, yes, allow it to do it. I don't know why I was not doing it. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to share my screen so you can see my iPad. Oh, I'm so glad it actually worked. Chrome tab, window, and let's go with movie recording. Okay, so I think that everybody should be able to see my doodling, my doodles that I was like here. Right, and let me go to the chat just to confirm. Hey, can you see? Wonderful demo. I'm staying. Hey, Ahmed, thank you so much. Can you see my screen? I'm here looking at the chat. See. Hello, can you see? This is Ahmed. I'm drawing Ahmed right now here with little ears and maybe a little bit of hair. Yes, screen. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you so much, Ahmed. Okay, so let's go back to our comic. I'm going to go back to my comic, and what I'm going to do, you already saw that, so you don't need to proceed. What I'm going to do is let me go back to share my screen. Stop sharing. Let me share my screen, share screen, entire screen. So you can see what I'm doing here on Figma. What I'm going to do here on Figma is I'm just going to put everything in one single frame. Okay. So all of these guys, these little dudes, I can just like put them at the same spacing, 40 pixels here, 40 pixels here. And that way I can group them. I'm going to center them in my new frame. So now my comic has a little bit of padding around. Now, all of this is helping me. So I can just like Command-Shift-C, so I can copy this thing from, like I'm copying the full frame from Figma, and ideally I can paste it here. And let me see if I can paste it. Paste. Yeah. So now let me go back and share my screen from QuickTime. I'll just stop sharing my screen here. Okay, I'm going to take just like share my screen. Now I'm not going to be too rushed, okay? I think it's good to take it easy. We're doing it at our time. And okay, now you're seeing my screen over here. You can see what I'm seeing over here. You can see that it's already, I'm going to go actually here to gallery, and I'm going to add a new, oh, by the way, I've been doing this stuff, but let me just go in clipboard. And here on clipboard, I have it. Now, this one is my wireframe. I just want a little bit of opacity on it. And then I can start doodling on a new layer. Again, like I was telling you, I'm a cheater. I just doodle on top of my wireframes. This allows me to just like be quicker, right? So something that I want to do is start defining like the table stuff. So I think the table stuff is going to be maybe this one. I start like just like sketching the cat over here, you know. I'm glad that I that I was able to just like put it like this. Now, should the cat be walking or should it just be standing? I think it's going to be standing just like this, you know, looking at it like, what is this? What is this thing with liquid? I hate water. It's cool that the cat has its own way of thinking. It's not, there's water there. There's water and the possibility of more water. So let's get rid of it. That's what the cat is thinking. It's half full, and it can be half full and it's already half empty. Let's get rid of this. And I think that's good. I think that the cat could be just, now is the cat, usually when I draw my cat, the cat is almost like a, what do you call it? Anthropomorphic, anthropomorphic. Oh my God. And it's a little bit like, it steps in two legs, you know? So just like this. How do you like my doodles? My doodles are crap. As you can see, there's water coming down. I think we're ready. Now let's put this down here also. And now let's start inking. Okay. So now when I start inking, again, I think this is actually too much. I need less. Yeah, it's just a guide. So when I start inking, I actually just use this as a guide so I can keep the proportions. So the character is just like, they're always the same, you know. This is me saying, I don't want to keep tabs on like the proportions of my characters. I'm lazy. I don't know how to do that. Just want to doodle. There you go. And one trick that I learned is to never start right away with this. This one, I'm actually going to redraw it again. Why? Because you can see that I did it really quickly and it's not my best doodle. And you want your hand and your eye-hand coordination to be good whenever you're drawing this first frame, right? Because, well, it's the first impression, right, that you have. So what I see that other doodlers do is they start not in the beginning, but they start somewhere in the middle of their composition. Why? Because they use it almost like practice. And if it's in the middle, the bad doodles, if they're in the middle of the story, it's okay because you already have your readers cooked and they don't care too much about the actual drawings, but they care more about the story. So I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but I like thinking that yeah, it's true. So let me actually start with the second frame. And maybe her expression is more like this, you know, and more like grabbing her. She's actually thinking about it. She's actually considering this. She's sure about her thoughts, you know. This is Petunia. She knows what's up. At the same time, she's it's cool because like Paps, which is this character, invites Petunia to think about these things. Petunia usually doesn't think about these things. It's really clear. It's half empty, Pablo. Like, what are you talking about? Well, this guy is like really pondering and dreaming and thinking. No, 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 no. There's more. And Petunia's like, huh? You know, I hadn't thought about that. And you're making me think. I am very sure about my beliefs, but now I'm not that sure. I'm not, but now at least I'm considering something else. You know, that's what's in her mind. And but let's so we're showing a little bit of doubt with this hand, right? She's grabbing her face. Usually we touch her faces or her hair whenever we're not sure about something, whenever we're thinking, we need comfort, and we comfort ourselves by doing this and just like, oh yes, yes. It sounds a little bit creepy, but no, what it's something that I guess our body does, like because our brains are like at full capacity, like going through something, and they're doubting themselves, so they need a little bit of love, I guess. And that's what our bodies do. We don't even notice it, but that's why we have some ticks and some things that we're still grabbing our hair. It's something that I do a lot. And people tell me, like, dude, you were grabbing your hair like crazy in that presentation. And I was like, oh, I didn't even notice, you know, because it's just my body trying to mend with the anxiety, I guess. So this is the anxiety. And this is Petunia saying, no, 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 wait, I am sure about this. It's half empty. So maybe this guy is dreaming like this. And whenever I put eyebrows here, I get rid of the hair. I don't add more here anymore. And you see how the mouth or down here, it's just a circle, but this just like expresses like a little bit of wonder, you know, and the maybe even the beard is a little bit more, it's not up like this, but it's still down. There's still gravity. You know, but it's looking up. There's a little bit of hope. And but maybe it's dreaming, right? It's looking up, but at the same time, well, perhaps it's a little bit insecure. And how can you see that he's a little bit insecure? You should by him grabbing his hands, and like touching himself too, and just like hugging himself, and it's like, no, yeah, there's more, and, but you can see that there's a little bit of anxiety going on in his thoughts too, in his mind. While the freaking cat is over here, not caring at all about that conversation, pondering what the hell is this cat doing on my table. Maybe a little bit matter, pencil in the eyebrows. Should it be like this? No, 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 no. The cat is not thinking. It's just like, So, and usually I don't do Rupert, which is the name of the cat. I don't do him with his 4 legs on the ground. I'm doing it here because it looks more cattish, more like what you would see from a cat. So it's like a cat that is like trying to be human, but sometimes you see it being a cat, just being. So I think it's okay if in this instance is in its force, So, wow, I don't know how to draw cats, I guess. Aren't cats like this? Oh man, no, they're more like this. See, it doesn't matter. It's far away, so details don't matter. That's something also that I learned, or at least I tell myself, hey, Paolo, it's okay. It's the story is what's important. People usually just like fill up whatever is not there, They understand it's a cat, it's there, it's kind of looking at something. You don't have to be perfect for it. Actually, let people imagine the rest. Or at least that's how I justify my bad doodles. Hey, it's okay. I'll just open myself, Let's try to fill this up. Nice. Nice. See, it's good to also have this template because it reminds me that Petunia has this striped shirt. I would have totally forgotten that she usually has a striped shirt. I will forget that detail. But here, the details here, it reminds me, yeah, gotta paint that. Nice. Nice. Maybe, what about this table? Should it be just like that? I think it should be just like that because we don't want to add too many details. Because I was going to be like, oh, it has a leg like this and it's modern and stuff. It's like, no, 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 no. That's not important to the story, Pablo. Don't try to impress people. Okay, let's switch this up and see how it looks. See, I love this. This guy is dreaming, but also doubting himself, and she's like very sure, but at the same time, I don't know. Hold on, right? Showing a little bit of I don't know, that dynamic happening in their heads. Okay, I think I'm ready now to go back to the first frame and doodle this again. Why? Because my fingers, my hand, everything is a little bit better aligned. Let's see what people are saying. What style of brush are you using in Procreate? Which canvas do you typically use? So I'm using a brush called, it's from a package called Inktober. Inktober. And you can look it up on Creative Market. So just Google this or just go to Creative Market and search for oh dude, what market. So search for this brush and then you're going to find a lot of brushes and they're all pretty cool. But the only one I use is this one that is called Inktober Mega Inker. And there's, yeah, that's the one I use. And there's multiple ones of that. I use I don't know. Yeah, that's the only one. Mega Inker. That's the one I use. And I love it. I adopted that brush and I never looked back. I said, like, this is it. This is my brush. I'm not going to, again, me being practical and being lazy, It's just like, I'm just going to use that brush. I don't care. That's it. That's my style. What if this guy is a little bit like this? Not right? No. That's dumb. Because it could be like he's really just asking a really dumb question. Maybe we can like put him in this kind of place where he's just like, Pablo, that's the dumbest question, but at the same time, it gets them in this rabbit hole of thinking. You know, I see. No. This is maybe for a different comic, Pablo, but it's fun to draw it like this. And maybe, yeah, it's asking like this. Let's put the mouth open because it's talking and it's asking a question, and like this because it's kind of moving. So, and also it should have the hands like this, right? Because it's pondering, and a little beer belly. Although I don't drink anymore, so it should be a pizza belly, I guess. A burger belly. I've been eating just like I tried a vegan pizza the other day. I've been trying to find a good vegan pizza, man. There isn't. I turned vegan years ago, and I will tell you, I'm not one of those militant vegans that tell you, oh, dude, you should go vegan, man. You're destroying the planet. Man, do whatever you want. Do your thing. But yeah, you're destroying the planet. But I would always say, like, dude, like, if you love pizza, don't go vegan. Or maybe you're vegan, but you make an exception on pizza. That can be your thing. Because there's no good vegan pizza. And no, whatever they tell you, just still, we haven't figured it out. Vegans have not figured out good pizza. I tried it, it's not good. And I mean, it's okay, but it's not great, man. And anyway, I tried, but I still wanted, I still, it's almost like the idea of pizza now. I want the idea of pizza. I want to remember what pizza used to be. Yesterday I watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too, so I was like, oh, dude, I want some pizza, man. And whenever I wanted to describe like good pizza, I wouldn't describe it just like, oh, your pizza, Chicago pizza. No. I'll describe it like the one that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles usually eat. Because in the cartoons, will be the cheese just like the stringy cheese like this, So I've whenever I want like I imagine pizza, good pizza, I imagine it like that, like a stringy pizza, and that's hard to find. You know what good cheese is for that, and usually people don't use it for that, and that's queso Oaxaca, because it's a stringy cheese, and it stretches. Wow, it's good for quesadillas, and it's usually used for quesadillas. But if you use that on pizza, then dude, you got something going on. Not mozzarella. I know some purists here are gonna, Pablo, stop talking now. You're gonna get canceled. You're gonna get pizza canceled. Mozzarella, that's the job, but dude, queso Oaxaca, that gets you that what I call it, like that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of pizza. Mozzarella tries, but it doesn't. It doesn't like queso Oaxaca. And here's vegan me saying, I wish there was a vegan cheese like that, but there isn't. We have not figured it out. And if you're not vegan, I recommend you make yourself a pizza with queso Oaxaca, with stringy queso Oaxaca cheese, which is also called quesillo in some places. I mean, in Oaxaca, they just call it cheese. Now, but they actually call it quesillo, just like little cheese. It's kind of weird, but there you go. And look at her expression. Her expression is like, why are you asking this dumb question, Pablo? Why don't you understand? This question should not be asked. What is obvious shouldn't be asked, Pablo. That's what her expression is saying right now. Maybe it should say it a little bit more. Just the eyebrow should be a little bit lower. Pablo, what the hell are you asking? What are you up to? So anyway, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was good, dude. I love the I don't know, like, and we have a team of illustrators. We have been working on our own like stories and stuff, and we have a team of artists, you know, and well, the artists are amazing. They're great in the team, you know. They're awesome artists, you know, for illustration and character creation and stuff. But I have to keep coming back to them, telling them, like, I think it lasted for 6 months, me trying to get them to draw badly. I don't know how to say, like, telling them, like, stop trying to make it perfect, because they will try to make this the muscles and the anatomy look perfect, you know, like it should be. And I'm like, no. Like, forget all that school stuff that you learn and try to do doodles that look more like they were drawn by someone in high school, you know, and quickly between classes, you know, and where they have passion, maybe, but not a lot of skill. And for them who have a ton of skill, they're like, Pablo, you want me to actually draw crap? That's what you want to, that's why you're asking me to. And I'm like, yes, draw a little bit crappy and a little bit of imperfect. And it's being hard to they're getting there. Their doodles now, they look a little bit more natural, imperfect, and just like sketched up. And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I feel there was a little bit of that. There was a lot of that. It wasn't trying to have everything perfect, but that imperfection made it so authentic and unique and genuine. And it's like, oh, dude, this is what I was trying to do. So now, whenever I will ask my artist, like, hey, so this is the creative direction. Just watch that movie. See how it doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, imperfection can be a style too. So I love that part, and also the story and everything. By the way, I'm already inking. Since I'm talking, I'm not thinking. I'm just like inking this of cool. See, I'm a cheater. I just draw on top of the letters, but at least I draw that, no? Should I just keep the letters as they are? Maybe you're thinking, Paulo, you're doing more work that is not necessary, and we don't respect you more for that, Pablo. See how even you can add little graphic elements that show some hints of what is happening in their minds. Maybe even the font realistic can be a little bit more square, you know? Realistic. realistic. You know, half empty is realistic. And we got it. Let's see. Is there anyone still there? There's still 16 people. Yes. See, which campus you? Hey, by the way, do you have questions and answers? Do you have any questions? We post this on YouTube. My computer froze. Oh man, a classic for Pablo Stanley work. His history. What style brush are you using? Okay, yes. Thank you so much. Yes, 26 people. Hey, if you have a question, ask them now. I think I'm going to finish this in 5 minutes. We didn't get to finish the actual comic, but I think I'm going to post later the result on Twitter. So just follow me on Twitter. But if you have one more question, the 16 people who are here, I'm happy to answer it. So let's just go back to our cat. And our cat, actually, let's reduce the sketch on the cat because I don't want it to be. I don't see any questions, my friends. You put it on the chat. You don't want the readers distracted by the perfection of drawings and missing the impression intent. Exactly, man. Which camp? I love it. I love Ahmed Mohammed Ataya Ibrahim. I'm pretty sure I said pronounce your name wrong, but I'm trying. Ahmed Mohammed Ataya Ibrahim. Ibrahim. Thank you. Yes. It's like it's not even needed, you know. And I love that. Digo, I mean, it was almost like trying to get that chip out of their head. It's like, guys, let's update your software on your minds, like and stop. So you stop trying to do it like they taught you in school. And I think hopefully they appreciate it. Hopefully they appreciate me asking them to to do a bad job. You know what? I don't like this expression. I don't think this should be the expression. I mean, why don't we do this? Let's try to nail the expression of the cat before jumping off, okay? And I think the expression should be something, by the way, this one. Yeah, I think the expression should be something like, huh. The more I think about it, I think it should actually be more like looking at it, right? Maybe you should actually be looking at it. And it's just like looking at it and not caring. It's like drawing it because just why not? Yeah, I think this is much better. It should be looking at it like, let's see if a Q&A, something, nothing. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to share the final comic later. I'm sorry that I wasn't, I didn't do the whole comic, but thank you so much. You can follow me on Twitter. I share sometimes stuff about design, about comics, about doodles, a lot of different things. So if you're interested in different things, you should follow me there. But also Medium, I post my comics. Sometimes I just like compilations of comics and I just dump them there. I love Medium for that because I love how they place the images and stuff. It's just like magical. It's like nobody has done it like Medium before. Like after, like nobody has done it still like Medium is the best one way, which is not in, I think, what others think, where it's like, hey, just put images and you can create a gallery that it looks beautiful there. And even for me for comics, because like I put all the images, but sometimes you want a certain frame to have more impact. So you can make it bigger there and make it full page. And that's how I use Medium to even use their image positioning to tell a better story or tell the story how I want and that impact. It's like Christopher Nolan suddenly putting IMAX. You can do that on Medium with your comics. because suddenly they're all images like this, and it's not like a big image. That's dumb. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ahmed, and everyone who was here. Jocelyn, what canvas? Which canvas do you typically use in Procreate? Comic? You ever use those? There's a comic canvas? I didn't know. I just use a regular canvas, a square canvas. Great demo. Thank you. So much fun, Jocelyn. Vera, what would you share on Instagram? Yes, I'll share on Instagram, Vera. Thank you. That was so relaxing and entertaining. Thank you, Jocelyn. Yeah, once we didn't have the time limit, I was like, okay, I'm just going to talk. And I used to do a lot of live streams. I'm going to do a little bit more of those. Love you. See you around. Bye-bye. Thank you.